they want beef, better tell them not to risk it. Internet niggas be the niggas that be distant. If they want smoke, I might live them with a biscuit. They try to run up on a nigga, but they missed. They underestimated me, now I'm pissed. Now I'm finna play.
What's the crack, everybody? It's Dylan from Mabfield here. Back with another episode of the Mabcast. So we've got a special guest on. He's been doing bits recently, just dropped his new album. Who is it?
My name is Miyagee. Nice to meet you guys. 22 years old, Belfast-based artist. I've been on the scene for about 6 years and also been working behind the scenes with Mabfield and coming for advice and guidance and help and stuff like that for about 9 months as well. New album released is called FFDLC, Freeform Dreadlock Champion. Stream that. Available on all my socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've known each other for a while now. We get on well. Like, I think it's friendship more so to start off anyway. That's how it sort of started off, and it's sort of came into this. So it's good to finally get an episode with you. The response has been pretty crazy to your album. Because before we talked about like Bluebird, it did well, maybe not as well as you would have liked. But like, man, you're fucking killing it with this. Like after the drop, like your story was just full of people like bopping out. There was even a video of someone in Foot Locker or Size, was it, in Belfast, and one of your tunes was playing in the shop. That's a madness. Like, I mean, how's it feel? Like, how you feeling?
It feels pretty good. I don't know, mate. I think it's an accumulation of a coming of age. This album is a real coming of age album. It's an accumulation of a coming of age of my sound and my artistry, an accumulation of me just being so open and so loving and so supportive to everything, every other kind of creativeness, creativity
like
on the
good
scene.
Karma almost coming back. Like, I would definitely agree with like it's your most complete project for sure, and that's with one listen. It's so obvious, you know, and just sonically and. You've even just the smaller things, everything's just tightened up and you've carried through your same sound through, but you've just executed it so much better than before. That's not to say it wasn't good before, but this is just a real quality album. So
exactly.
Like,
no, I agree.
Props to that.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're both a bit worse for wear today. Like we're at your launch party last night.
Yes.
That was sick. So tell listeners a bit about that then.
Big thank you to Plain Sailing. Big thank you to Banjax Records and also Mabfield for coming down to the album launch yesterday. It went really well. We actually sold out all the tickets. It was a nice intimate venue, a warehouse kind of type of rave type of venue, and it was a real artsy backdrop, real artsy ambient setup with the Harlan and Wolf cranes in the background.
Crazy view, like windows the whole way around.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll post some videos on our socials so that people see, but like. You even the promo video you put up of you performing.
Yep.
Like,
it was shot there.
That was a crazy video. Like,
thank you.
But yeah, it just
the
felt
full
like
video comes out in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes.
So everybody keep an eye out for that one.
Yep.
Man, it just feels like we talked about moments before, and it's easy to throw around these words. You know, people say it's a watershed moment for Irish hip hop. It's a watershed moment for this. It's it's a breaking moment for that. It's people like to romanticize things, but genuinely, like I said it with the Javaris listening party last night. I mean, we're not making more of it than it was. It was a small venue, 40 people, but the vibe that you got there, it really did feel like something important for the North anyway in terms of events. 60?
60,
so even more, even more than I thought. It really did feel like a moment because you're sort of unsure, can people throw these events and is there the demand? And are people going to be into it when they're there? And it ticked every box.
Yeah.
I mean, would you agree?
I'm still shocked and I'm so happy that all the promotion from Plain Sailing and Banjax and myself and the album rollout just it was executed right and it really paid off and it shows in the turnout and it shows in the people who came and the energy they had and how much they enjoyed it and over the moon. I'm still
yeah. I mean, when we got down, like, I wasn't sure what to expect. It was a different vibe to what I was expecting, but it was cool. It was intimate. You know, there was friends. There was people that didn't know you as well. It wasn't just, you're just inviting everybody you knew. Like, people had to go out, get tickets, and it's sold out, so that's class. But who was on before? They had Jordan.
Excuse me. Just the opening act was Jack Bashful, so big thank you to him. He came on last minute. and did 20 minutes. Killed it. Yeah, he did. He killed it.
He did.
And then the second act was Yusei, who's also, his real name is Jordan Politol, and he's a friend of mine. He's an artist who's been on the periphery in Belfast for a while, and he did a very good job as well.
Yeah.
And then those are the supporting acts. So shout out to them, please. Check them out if you get a chance.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing just went great, and it was just great to have so many creatives in from Belfast and Northern Ireland coming from all over to come and go to an event like this, and it felt like, people talk about networking and stuff, and in reality, it's really just making new friends and wanting to help each other, and it really felt like everybody there wanted to support you, you know, and I think that's testament to what you've give back to people in Northern Ireland throughout the years as well. Yeah. You've been, 6 years you've been doing it, so you talk often about how people are often sending you songs, and you'll give them advice and give them help, and even just share their music. Do you feel like this is this good karma, almost like the album's dropped at the right time, and this event went so well for you? I feel like it's just a accumulation of so many things, because I like what I like, but that won't stop me from helping somebody else, or listening, or giving feedback, or even complimenting somebody's music or criticizing it. Just I try and be as helpful as possible, and I know the only way I can be helpful to anybody who wants to do music, who even does reach out to me like, yo, what do you think, is by being honest, and I feel like not even aside from that, going into different ventures, whether it be clothes, like this is from American Madness, all the stuff in my music videos from American Madness. That's another thing I support, and they support me in exchange with the it's all a good thing, like, isn't it? It's just like supporting each other. But there is that real more collective community emphasis that I'm starting to feel in Belfast, especially. And do you think you could have thrown as a launch party as successful for your last album, or do you think it's like for me, I really feel like the last 6 months or so, everything's just been taken up a notch in terms of hip hop. I don't know if it would have been, you probably could have done it, but I don't know if it would have been as, like, people would have been as willing to, like, engage in, like, a straight hip-hop event in Belfast. You know what I mean?
I mean, when you say the last 6 months in Belfast, to me, it just seemed like this landscape hasn't changed. Maybe the younger generation and our generation as well, what they're into, maybe has changed, right? But the landscape as a whole hasn't changed, because there's still other people in the scene, and they're putting out music, and they would agree with me that the landscape hasn't changed. It's like your typical, because it's like a product, right? And one's your typical boxed, shaped how it should be, wrapped up, and people, there's always going to be a demand for that. And then one's kind of packaged differently, and it might.
But do you think there's more of an interest in it, though? That maybe not the landscape has changed in terms of like demographics or anything like that. But do you think that people in Belfast, it's like, and in Northern Ireland, and across the whole of Ireland, especially, hip hop from within the country is starting to pique their interest a lot more than previous years? It feels to me just like people are interested. Like, they're not just taking it as a gimmick.
I think there's always been Belfast goes through phases, like trends, trends, and I would say there's been times when hip hop was popping in Belfast, and times when it wasn't. There was a time in Belfast city centre where you could go there on a weekend and it'd be 5 hip hop nightclubs open on. Now we're just at the stage when that's not, but then next year we might go back to that. So Belfast, it literally in Belfast, what people want, it just goes in like a cycle. It's like a cycle.
Cyclical.
Yeah, cyclical.
I think you're right to an extent, but I also do think that there's more longevity now in what's going on. Like, there is, I think I definitely feel inspired to do my own night, and that's something I've got in the works. And I think that it could be a reality. Like, people could want to go to this sort of thing, and I mean, it is interesting, but I think for sure it was cool to see a sold out Leo Miyagee show. Yeah. I mean, how did that feel? It just felt sick, yeah.
Yeah. It felt really good. I'm still
on a high.
Yeah, it's the most natural high, even after putting out the album. And I keep, and we've only started. This is phase 1. So me and Banjax and the team that I've managed to build up in the last couple of months, we have a lot more things coming.
Yeah, and we're talking about maybe like the landscape and stuff not changing as much, but like for you, there's a lot that has changed. Before you're still in it. Well, you were independent until recently.
Yeah.
And you had that very much like independent work effort and ethos. Where you're doing everything yourself. And you said you like keeping a lot of creative control, and it's hard to let other people, you know, take the reins on certain things. You know, whether it be mixing or rollout or anything like that. But with this, you said you have a team now, and you have people that are mixing your stuff. You have producers that are consistently working with you, getting back to you quick. Has that made a big difference?
Yes, I do have a team. It's made a massive difference. But sorry, let me just correct you. I still mix all my own stuff.
Okay.
But for the next project, because I plan to do a couple of collaborations, you know, and maybe not release them under my name, but just through other people. Because collaborations, because I've been saying we were gonna get these done, and I just haven't got around to it. Yeah. And I'm pretty much gonna let the other people mix for the first time, but I've definitely got some professionals in there, like the production team now. It's like they're all on a one-to-one basis. They're all friendly. It's not like you're on a beach store buying beats now. It's like there's a guy from Australia called Aquinas who I used one of his. He's actually the opening track in FFDLC. He's the same producer as the opening track in Bluebird. And it's a guy from Australia called Aquinas. And then you have Chaden Somerset, whose Instagram handle is aka Chaden. And he's on 2 tracks. And then you have the main event. And then you have a guy called Sean Campbell, or his producer name alias is Eisen. Okay. And he's from Belgium. And then you have Wilbury Paul. Okay. And he's from Spain, Mallorca. And these are all guys that you can find on my social, and I interact with them. And yeah.
I think it's sick as well that you've listed the producers as features.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't
Sabako as well, let me not forget. And he's more local, sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big up the all them producers. But yeah, I totally think it's sick that you list the producers, because I don't think producers get enough shine sometimes, and like it's important that they, you know, get recognition for what they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this whole thing, it's going well. The music's going well. The album's dropped. You've got a crazy response so far, like all over Twitter, all over Instagram. It's going well. Where are you planning on taking it? Like you said, you're in phase 1. What's the next step? Like, is it the rollout? Is it videos?
Because we're still in the rollout stage. We haven't even finished phase 1, if I'm honest with you. Because the pre-promo, and then the promo for the release party, and then the album drop, and then the promo for the video. Yep. And then the album release party actually happening instead of the promo. Right up till now, where we've got another video coming, and then more promo to do, and then we've got loads of content coming. Yeah. So we haven't even finished the rollout, because once
scratch the surface, really.
Yeah. So once we finish the rollout was probably going to be finished. We'll be done with the rollout maybe by next week or the week after, and because once we drop the first video, we're going to go into phase 2, which is going to be pushing it, with not the rolling out, but pushing it. You know.
See, I feel like you've got a far more methodical approach this time than Bluebird.
Same approach, but I have more experience. You need to fail before you succeed. You need to do shit wrong and know what you're doing wrong before you know how to do it right.
Yeah, no, it's like anything. It's like a series of failures lead to success, essentially. And what sort of things shaped you, like in terms of your music? Was there any big disappointments you had? Just so other listeners that are maybe doing music, is there anything that really disappointed you and you thought, oh, I'm going to quit? Or even along those lines, is there anything that really, you know, got to you and you kept persevering, and now you're getting to this point where you're cementing your spot in Irish hip hop, I'd say?
I'm happy to hear that, and I genuinely feel I am. And there's also another little thing that's coming out through 2 Irish press publications down south, which I think will further go towards cementing that
status.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward for that. It's the workflow thing, if you've heard of.
Yeah, I've heard.
I'm looking forward to that, because I think
heard things through the grapevine. It sounds sick. Yeah.
I know who told you that. I know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying anything. Yeah.
But Jesus, does it spread like that, bro? But yeah, it just clicked this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I have enough experience and I know what, like, wait, up to a certain stage, obviously, because there's still levels I haven't even reached. And
They say
levels
sort of it's like a
experience.
10,000 hours until you master something, really.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I think, what people would say.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 years, you must have clocked a hell of a lot of time in studio and
6 years, 24 hours. I would probably spend, let's say, 300 of those 365. Let's say 300, right? 6 years, 6 times 3, 1,800. And then 24 times 1,800. That's 24,000. And then times by 800. That's...
Bro, I'm not even going to correct you, but this is turning into a fucking game show. We'll get
Sorry,
this, we'll get this
sorry,
as like a
sorry.
side. No, we'll get this as a side project. We'll do like a Mabcast fucking countdown show or something.
No, I'm just trying to count how many hours I've clocked.
Yeah, like, but it's
I've-
going to be thousands for sure.
You said 10,000 hours?
Something along those
Yo,
lines.
I've
the
got,
master
well
something.
over that.
Well over that?
Well over that.
Oh, okay.
Well over that. Maybe double.
Well, I mean, and that's for people listening. Like, it's taken you 6 years to get where you are, and I think it's like good for people to know, because we're in an age of like instant gratification where people just want the instant clout off Instagram.
Boom.
They want that instant clout off Twitter. They want that instant I am the guy, do you know? And it's like your testament that it takes a while, do you know? And it's not going to be a quick fix. It's not going to just happen off the bat.
See, one people things forget is that all the kings, like in history, you know, they're born and then they're bred. Like when a king is born, whatever family or monarchy he's born into, you know, they'll have the best teachers. They'll have the best self-defense people. They'll have the best of everything. And then when that person becomes a king and they have all these skills, everybody idolizes them, but they don't understand how many years it took to mold that king. So people who, and that's all I've been trying to do. I've been trying to mold myself, and I feel like I have a lot to achieve and a lot that I want to conquer. But I think I can safely say and genuinely believe that I've molded myself, or I'm molding myself into the king of the north.
Big statement. I'm inclined to agree. I mean, there's not anyone as prolific as you with albums out here at the moment, and I mean, people are welcome to clap back and debate, because it's all up to interpretation. And you've said, you know, I put in the graft. This is I believe in myself. It's not shade on anyone else. You said you put in the graft. You believe that, and I think it's up there for people to challenge you for it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Throwing that out there, see who's gonna step up to the
No,
plate.
100%. Like, and I don't want to hear anybody like talking. I'm like, because it's like at the end of the day, I don't say much like on social media about how I feel, or I think I'm this, or I think I'm that. But I just let the music talk. But if I'm being honest, like if I didn't think I was the best in the north, at least, you know, then I'd probably stop, because what am I putting all this effort into?
Yeah,
you know,
I think,
and it's not even just about being the best in an area; it's about being the best you can possibly be.
I totally agree. I think you've got your head screwed on, like, because something that I definitely learned coming into this arena is like music's obviously super competitive.
Yeah.
And even with doing something like podcasting,
I'm super
blogging,
competitive,
you've
and that's
gotta
something
have
that's something I really hide, because when I was younger, I'm pretty sure some of the people who went to high school with me would know I was that guy who treated PE like it was the World Cup. So they'll know.
You're snapping ankles.
Yeah, they know I'm like the psychopathic. Like I'm as competitive as Michael Jordan when it comes to just being competitive. You know, like a competitive spirit. Because when I grew up around boys and siblings, and they were all, you know, like my cousins. They know from
That kind of environment just breeds competitiveness.
Yeah.
I think with rap especially, you'll just get eaten alive if you don't have to outwardly be saying all these things in your head, but it's like you'll get eaten alive if you don't inwardly believe that you can be the best, you know, because at the end of the day, I mean, it is about having fun, but you want to be the best. You want to go bar for bar with anyone.
Absolutely. And that's part of hip hop, you know. Part of hip hop is is, you know, that bravado, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, and you were saying there, you know, you see yourself as king of the north, and has it been hard to get to this stage where you feel, you know, you taking the reins in the north, and that you feel comfortable saying that, you know, because you said for a while that maybe you struggled to get a foothold, maybe, of the city in Belfast.
Mate, like, I couldn't get a foothold in my own city for shit. I could get love, like, even, like, if I showed you, like, the streams of the music and where it comes from, it's Eastern Europe, America, down south, London, even Scotland. and in Belfast is, like, 5th or 6th, no? With my most popular songs anyways in Belfast.
Strange that, isn't it? It's strange.
Yeah.
But like we were talking when we were both down at Anomaly the other week, like shout out them guys, shout out Evan Miles, Alex Goff, all the other guys that put that together. It was sick. When you were performing stuff, you got so much love. Like I feel like everyone in down south really fucks with you, and it's cool that you're finally getting to the point now where you've got a sizable audience up north as well.
Yeah. I agree. I have like, because I always give respect to my peers, and I always wish them luck, and I always give credit where credit is due, and I always give criticism where criticism is due, and I hope, and I believe that's the reason why some of the peers, some of my peers down south are always quick to encourage me or give me feedback, you know, and you know, support or whatever, you know, but up north, we're still working into creating a you know, a community spirit in the scene. We're still working on it.
Early days, primitive stuff, but in terms of some of the other peers you're talking about, is that a good feeling getting? Because like we were talking about the competitive nature of hip hop. It must be a good feeling having people actually, you know, applauding what you're doing and saying, you know, man, you're killing it. Because it's not easy to put your ego aside in a game like this and do that.
No, like, because it's not easy, but sure, you would know me on a personal level. I'd be the first one to be like, yo, you killed it, or you're doing well, and I'd be the first one if I didn't really like it. I wouldn't. I probably, most of the times, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't answer when you asked me. Yeah. You know, I'd probably change the subject. But if I, like, but that doesn't happen often. I'm just giving examples, you know. But I'm always the first to, like, support and just vibe out when somebody else is performing, is because I know what it feels like.
I think humanizing the whole experience is important, because like we said, when everything's online and it's literally just mindless sharing of music and just saying this is fire, you know, people just posting on their stories, and it takes away the personal and like human element of the music. Whereas if you're actually physically there supporting people, that's the best thing. You know? And there's no more real love than coming to someone's show and like being present, because You've said it before, you've had shows where there's not been so many people, and then you have your own show, headline, album launch, and it's sold out. And surely there's no better feeling than ideas that were in your head being delivered into musical format, and then you fucking performing it to all these people.
Flip. Wow, It's a really natural high, and it's really fulfilling. For me, I get my fulfillment in knowing that what I do has substance, and people can find meaning, and some people can find hope in it. Some people can find fierceness in it, like, I'm not gonna stop, or I'm not gonna give up, or I have a couple of complexes, but I'm not that bad of a person, you know, that I'm just my main thing is substance, and I get my validation out of putting out things with substance, because that people, instead of people listening to it and just enjoying it, they listen to it and they connect.
It's an experience. And definitely for me, when I really got into music, it was through Kid Cudi, and it's because like the relatable lyrics and like just
he was my intro into UK hip hop. I started off with US hip hop. Started off. But
he, like, to me, he's like, no matter how bad some of his albums were, he is unmistakably a legend in the game.
GOAT level.
Honestly,
don't know.
I think
he's not a specialist, but he's a GOAT level all rounder.
I think just in terms of like the effect, like he was rapping straight up about mental health before anyone. Like,
done.
I mean, you've got like Biggie, you know, with suicidal tendencies and stuff like that, but not
No,
on like a
nobody
full
did it like
album
Tupac.
scale.
Nobody did it like
But do you
Tupac.
know what I mean?
Mental
It's
health.
like,
Oh yeah.
In terms of like he's one of the earliest people,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to
yeah.
do it like on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
But like what you're saying there about like experiences that you're putting out there, you know,
Yeah.
through your penmanship,
Yeah.
the things you're going through and giving people hope, like that's the kind of thing that gives you longevity. And putting out albums that you're putting your soul and your being onto the page, people recognize that, you know. And is that something that was difficult for you at any point, you know?
Mate, it took me so long to be so honest, because there was so much shit I didn't want to talk about, because I didn't want to sound like, because it's like when I'm watching the landscape of hip hop today, right? You know, the argument is usually people like me, and the way I try and approach hip hop music is usually, oh, you're an old head, or you're boring, you don't know how to have fun, you know, you're just hating on the youths, you know. But then, but then when people are you know, very forward and you know, and let their truth be told in music, even amongst their peers, even at the highest level, sometimes you get called a crybaby, or you get called this, or you get called that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna tell you the story, because sometimes, most of the time, I have probably 99% of the time I have great days, but not every day is great, and you just need to share with people that it's okay to not have like, it's not never gonna be straightforward all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're a pretty happy-go-lucky guy, and I think it's important to say that not everyone has good days every day, and music is such a cathartic tool for like therapeutic needs for people, you know. And I think like props, because I think that's so important, because for me that's what helped me when I was having a bad time. I said, like, Kid Cudi, like, just remind you that it's okay. And I think music is like, well, music has been like that for a long time, but hip hop is slowly starting to turn that way, where it's more acceptable to talk about your feelings and stuff like that. So I think that's sick. And you're talking about like your peers and like putting yourself out there into the world, and like having all your peers like listen to it and stuff. It must be like, were you nervous for how the album was going to be received?
Yeah, because mate, like,
especially when it's personal experiences going out into that, you know. Yeah,
because I put like pretty much everything that happened in sometimes some of the stuff is very difficult to talk to, so I put it indirectly. But not just that, you know, because there's songs where I'm celebrating, there's songs where I'm fierce and I'm like, I won't be stopped. There's songs where I have bravado, there's songs where I'm, you know, chilling and I'm
but that's partying. Reflecting your life, you know what I mean? You're saying you're not happy every single day. Maybe one day you're feeling competitive, one day you're feeling happy, one day you're feeling sad. It's like your music like imitating your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's cool, because it's definitely an album that brings a sense of life and experience to the table. And I mean, what's your plans going forward from the album? You said you've got this rollout. Have you got any shows coming up? Yep,
I've got a couple of shows. One with District Magazine and the IFL at the GPO on May 17th. One with and one at Black Box on June. Can I just double check the date on the phone?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just double checking the date on my phone, because I want to.
Well, who's that one in Black Box with?
That one in Black Box is actually with other creatives in Belfast, and that's just, you know, they're actually only just starting out with music, and they asked me to get involved to help give them a wee bit more of a push, and then anytime they need any, you know, advice, or, you know, like if they want to, then I'll be there, and I'll whatever they need. So just to give back to the scene, that one in Black Box. And
the GPO one, did you say? Who else is performing at that?
Nilo, Dina, I can't remember the whole list off the top of my head, but a good few, probably 5.
Oh, that's sick. And that is someone I'd love to hear you work with, is Nilo. I think your sounds are very complementary to each other.
Absolutely.
And is that going to happen? I want it to happen. Just selfishly going to say this.
If you ask me, yes. If you ask him, he'd probably say yes. I've asked him, and he said yes.
You want to do it.
And it's just, I've been so, you know, my phone has been just going off like, and I haven't had time to like sit down and breathe with an album rollout. So I haven't got around to it, but I guarantee you, me and Nilo will get something done. And if I can send him across something he likes sonically, we could probably have a track for you by the GPO. But you never know.
You never know.
It's just I don't want to put myself under pressure because it has to come naturally.
Yeah,
and also, shout out to Marcus Woods for always constantly supporting. I will support that boy and talk because there's some levels of support you can't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shout out to Rebel Phoenix. Shout out to District Magazine for supporting me in the past. Shout out to Omo Aston for killing it. And another person who I was surprised, that I only spoke to him, properly.
Who's that?
Yesterday in person, Sabako, and then in messages, whenever I was starting an album, I actually sent him demos of that album, early demos. And he's very knowledgeable, and he seems to understand where I'm coming from, and so shout out to him. He's very supportive, and he's also, and I would say, if I'm the king of the North for lyricism, and hip hop, he's the king of the North for production.
Yeah, he's insane. Easy. He's a wizard.
Unreal, yeah.
And that's what you were saying about it being a moment, being at that event, because you got all these people that you said you hadn't even met them before.
Yeah.
And there's people I hadn't met before, and we're all in the same room, and it's just nice to get chatting and stuff like that. But you're saying about all these people here supporting. Is there anyone that you would like to work with? Just
Rebel Phoenix as well.
Yeah.
I said
you said
Rebel Phoenix. I like to work with him. Me and Marcus. I don't know why. What the flip? Why have me and Marcus never worked on nothing?
I was gonna say, to me, it would seem
make
logical
sense,
because you seem to support each other and talk a fair bit.
Yeah.
When I first met you, I was chatting to him in DMs. This is months ago, and I said I was doing something with you, and then he was like, "Oh, he is the best lyricist in Ireland." Full stop, blah blah blah. And I was like, "Yeah, he's sick." And then he said basically the exact same thing on Twitter the other day when you dropped your album. So it's that's real love. That's something he said in private to someone, and then that he's posting publicly to everybody for everyone to see. But it's just class to see because there is that real community spirit going on, and people are actually wanting to push each other because there's no point fucking tearing people down to pick yourself up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also want to work with Wishful Thinking, but Keen Kavana. Not so wishful. I think we can make it happen. Keen Kavana. And Jafaris. And up north. I've already they all the ones. I just want to give some shout outs. Shout out to Plain Sailing, shout out to Banjax Records, shout out to Born Sleepy, and shout out to Gateways NY for Gateways NI for really making the album drop and the album release party happen and just getting me over the finish line. I really appreciate that. Moving just that means the world to me.
Yeah, we're saying, it just feels like everything's sort of come together, and it's working well. Where do you want to be in the next 2 years, 3 years? Because obviously things are going well, and they've probably accelerated a lot in the last couple of months. Where do you see yourself potentially in 2 or 3 years? In an ideal world.
In an ideal King of the North. Cement my shit as King of the North. Maybe throw my hat into the ring down south, cement myself a little bit more there, get a bit of a following there because they seem to have more hunger for my style of music, and then go back to London, take mainland Europe, and then eventually America. By 2019 we're in, by the end of 2021, I would like to be in London and have a fan base up north in Ireland, down south in Ireland, and then be sustaining
Fishing.
myself but growing in mainland, and then that's where I'd like to be.
That's sick. Yeah, I mean, you gotta, like you said, you gotta speak it into existence. You gotta make it want to happen.
And you know what? This is one thing. See, when motherfuckers say speak shit into existence, you have to do this shit. You have to work this shit into existence.
Well,
I could stay quiet. I could stay quiet.
Yeah.
And work this shit into existence. And then it happens. Because that's what I did with this album. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say shit. I just worked. Yeah. And then it happened. You don't. So don't just speak it. Work it.
Yeah. But I mean, you're on the record now saying this shit, so you got the pressure. Everyone's seen you say it. they're gonna be expecting it. So there's that extra push, I guess. But I do sort of agree with the sentiment of like let the work do the talking rather than speaking out loud about all this sort of stuff. How long did it even take you to get the album together? And as an independent artist in the build up, was that like a stress? You know what I mean?
Cameron and Tulu as well. Big shout out to Tulu, because when I started the album off, it was Chaden and Tulu who were really just encouraging me and helping me. And Tulu's like very creative and very innovative, and he always got all these different ways of plan of attack, and really I think he made a lot of the difference over the last 6 months before Banjax and the rest of them got involved, because his plans of attack are so different in this, but they're effective. But this album, getting it, the people and the producers, getting that sorted wasn't as hard, because a lot of them they became friends after some recent releases or previous releases, or fans or supporters or whatever, or mutual, but on a mutual basis, reciprocative between me and them. And so that was easy enough, but making the actual album was a hassle, because I must have scrapped, because I thought I had the album finished twice.
Serious?
And I announced it probably on my socials, or hinted at it twice on my socials. Scrapped probably 15 tracks in the last 2.5 months. Started it in December, and not even. As soon as Bluebird came out, I was like, I wanted a new sound. I was like, what am I gonna do? What's gonna be the next? I don't want to add new wrinkles to my style and expand on the themes on Bluebird, because I could see people were saying, "Oh, you really get into your own wee world when you listen to Bluebird," even though it's not, perfect, but it's getting into their own wee world, and I wanted to expand on those world building themes. So I was plan of attack, and loads of time spent thinking how we're gonna carry things out, and there's a lot of B-sides. There's maybe about 3 versions of Stilo, 3 versions of Change Your Tide, so many
all
things,
this shit,
so many things.
No one really will know.
Yeah.
They'll just see the finished product and think, oh, that was it.
Yeah.
And you're saying there about like looking at what you did before and like changing it up and like trying to sort of improve and things. Is there anyone that you look up to, not even like musically, but just as a business mind, or like the way they approach things? Is who influences you in that way?
It used to be I would say Floyd Mayweather, from 2007 to 2015, the mind games, the psychology behind the marketing, the bravado, but also the substance to back it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're saying, you need to actually put in the work. You can't just talk the talk. You have to walk the walk.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, like, from an outsider's perspective, I guess because I wouldn't say that you're the most braggadocious rapper out there, but like you've got this quiet confidence definitely in yourself, and I think it's important to outwardly say, like, and because people then,
I mean, come to my gigs and you catch me in the middle of a show, I might turn around and like even at, like in hint or say some things. I'm probably like most. I'll probably. Like a couple of people have come to see me and I would say things like that, like, easy off the cuff. But
is that where you feel most comfortable on stage? Is that where you're like in your element, do you think?
It's where I feel most uncomfortable and comfortable at the same time.
And do you get nervous before? Because you don't look nervous, but do you feel nervous?
It depends on the context of the situation. Like if I've just made some new music, like for example, like when we went down to an event at ANOMALY last week, I tested out a completely new set. Yeah. With all new and old songs, you know, but it was a completely new set, and I was nervous then because it was a new set, and I wanted to see how people really would react. To the songs, and
it went on well.
Exactly, and that's some of the times when I would get nervous because I my worst fear is if I made something and it was close to the time to put it out, and I thought it was good, and then I showed the general public,
and they
had no reaction. That's oh man.
Yeah. And who else did you enjoy at Event Anomaly then?
Alex Gore. Is it Goff? Goff?
Yeah.
Goff. And his song Breakfast. Rap Games Andy. I enjoyed his set. I enjoyed Finch and Nick Stanley. Or is it Stanley or Stanley? Stanley.
Yeah, Awkward Z. His flow is crazy.
Yeah.
And
Is his name Awkward Z?
Yeah, I think it's like Twitter and Instagram's maybe like something different. I sort of get confused, but I'm pretty sure it's Awkward Z. But his flow was crazy that night.
Yeah.
I just want to see more showcase events like that, honestly, where like, because you are totally different style to him, and then Pat Lagoon's totally different again. It's just like real cool to get like a glimpse of everyone together on the same stages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we've had a really good chat about everything that's went on.
Yeah.
We dug into some stuff.
Yeah.
Made some bold claims.
Yeah.
Talked about the album, the release party.
Yeah.
I mean, stream the shit out of that. Is there any bits and pieces you want people to know about it just before we conclude?
A couple of people have been asking, well, a lot of people have been asking me, what does FFDLC actually mean? And FFDLC is an acronym for Freeform Dreadlock Champion. And Freeform Dreadlock Champion, what you see on my head, these are Freeform Dreads. And it's basically just a nickname for myself that I gave myself when I really lock in and become a recluse. And I end up looking all scruffy and like the struggle, just focusing on the music, getting the music done, because I go through phases when it be like that.
Yeah, I feel you. Like it's we personal anecdotes like that to sort of make it easier to connect with an artist and stuff, I think as well. I mean, this has been a sick episode. The chat has been unreal. We talked about your launch party. We talked about people you'd like to work with, people you are working with.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Can I just say, blam?
Is this merch? For audio listeners, he's pointing to his new t-shirt he got. Leo Miyagee merch. Is that available?
Yeah. So this is some new merchandise, courtesy of Banjax Records, and the merchandise will be available to order on their website, and it will also be available in physical copies at every gig I'm doing for the foreseeable future.
Sick.
Until they sell out. Happy
days.
Yeah.
So you're on the grind. You're selling gear. You're getting your merch out there. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you on. It's one of them things that it's been in the works for a while. Just the timing hasn't been right, but we've got it done.
Happy days.
And what a better time after your album's dropped. So if anybody hasn't, stream the shit out of this album. Be prepared for the music videos, the shows, the festivals, and yeah, keep an eye on the socials.
All right.
It's been Dylan from Mabfield.
It's been Leo Miyagee from Belfast. Peace.
Peace.